Hello, and thank you for watching our video presentation on animal diversity. My name's Lily, and my associates who will be representing with me will be Atrine, Alexa, and Tyler. In this video, we will be discussing what we have been learning these past 4 labs on animal diversity, and I'll start off this video by taking you through the introduction lab. As we spent the last unit separating plants into multiple different supergroups, we figured out that animals belong under the supergroup Opisthogomata and are separated into 2 phylums called protostomes and deuterostomes. The protostomes are also separated into 2 superphylums called Lopetrochozoas and Ecdysozoas. And throughout this unit, we have observed all of these animals throughout microscopic imaging or even dissections to find out their characteristics. Some characteristics that make up animals are body symmetry, body cavity, tissues, germ layers, digestive systems, circulatory systems, nervous systems, and sexual reproduction, which is how we were able to differentiate these species. The first phylum in our lab that we were able to explore is phylum Parazoa, which mostly contains sponges who don't have any obvious body symmetry. And here is a microscopic example of a scypha. Here you can see its ostia, its choanocytes, and a spongiocele. The next phylum that we've observed is phylum Ctenophora, which are the largest animals known for using cilia as locomotion. Comb jellies, and here you can see its comb rows. They use stinging structures called colloblasts to catch their prey. They reproduce sexually and are hermaphroditic, with a complete digestive system. Our next phylum for this introduction lab is phylum Cnidaria, which contains sea anemones, corals, and jellyfish. Cnidarians have radial symmetry and lack a circulatory system, and can reproduce sexually and asexually. Here we have an image of a hydra budding, and here you can see its little budding structures. Next, we have phylum Platyhelminthes, which contain flatworms. One thing that can help me remember that the flatworms belong to Platyhelminthes, flatworm, Platyhelminthes, flatty platies. Here is an image of the planaria. Here's its gastrovascular activity, and very much along the edge, if you zoom in closely, you can see its ciliates. And I don't have an original microscopic image of our last phylum, but the last phylum we were able to observe is phylum Rotifera. Here's its crown of cilia, where it spins around and the food goes inside and then goes through its digestive system and out the anus.
Hello, I'm Trish. I might not know everything, but if it's one thing I know, is that most people know who this is. And who this is. This is SpongeBob. And this is Patrick. The world famous starfish. Patrick. Patrick is just Patrick to this world, but he is so much more than that. Have you ever taken the time to know more about your favorite starfish? Well, you're about to learn more about your favorite starfish and more about who he is on the inside. Quite literally, this might be Patrick. This is him on the inside. Fun fact, not quite fun, but a literal fact, is that the internal structures in each of the arms are identical. The pyloric ceca, which kind of acts like the liver, was removed on the arms before this photo was taken. It's kind of like a brown mush, but like I said, it was removed before this image. What we see in this photo are called the gonads, which are involved in reproduction. And this is also a complete digestive system.
Much like every other living, breathing human being, I love SpongeBob SquarePants. So I decided that I wanted to make a video with my opinions on the most and least anatomically correct SpongeBob SquarePants characters, in my honest and humble opinion. We're starting off strong with Squidward. The chromatophores for camouflaging, the nose that matches the siphon to siphon water through. I mean, this is perfect. This is great. My only problems, all of those are tentacles, like for sure. There's not a single arm in sight. You know, the arms are much shorter. All of these are about the same length. Arms have tentacles going all the way, not tentacles, suckers going all the way up the arms. And as you can't see it, but as a profound SpongeBob fanatic, there's no suckers in there. Also, there's been a little bit of a debate in the SpongeBob community that this is actually an octopus because of the head shape. Can't get on board. I'm not even going to give the theory attention. We're just going. I also want to note that he has his heart down here rather than in here in the mantle where it should be. It's down here. Unacceptable, but the ranking will come later. We're not going to discuss it too much until the end. Here, we have a real clam versus a SpongeBob clam. I mean, I really call these a bird clam hybrid because why is this flying / swimming? Whatever pursuit of locomotion that is, that's not what they do. They use their foot to move. They use it to eat. Peanuts at that. Why are you eating peanuts as a clam? That's just me though. That's just me. Okay, now we're gonna start. Patrick, I mean, we all love Patrick. Just a few like tiny itty bitty concerns. I know that Starfish can stand, but he stands on 2 rather they're standing on all 5. I don't know if I can get on board with that. I don't know. I don't like that. But I can give him that he can stick to objects. Now, the starfish do need tube feet to do that. That's a known. They do need tube feet to do that. He has no tube feet, as you can see here, and none as you can see there. I'm so sorry. That is the only back picture I could find where this wasn't out. I'm so sorry that you had to see this. But no tube feet. I can't let it slide because what are you sticking with? You know what I'm saying? This last one, SpongeBob SquarePants. A beloved character, of course. Why are you perfectly symmetrical as an asymmetrical creature? That's not okay. Also, arms and legs as a sessile creature, that looks anything but sessile to me, buddy. You know why? Because that's a kitchen sponge. Yeah, that's why he's in honorable mentions. That's not a real sea creature. That's a kitchen sponge. See, I couldn't let him slide. I couldn't let him slide. This is pretty despicable to me. To be trying to pass as a sea sponge, as a kitchen sponge, is pretty despicable to me. But, ignoring our honorable mention, let's get back to our main 3. In my humble, honest opinion, I think Squidward is the most anatomically correct SpongeBob character. I mean, the chromatophores, the siphon, the tentacles threw me off a little bit. I'll take that. Threw me off a little bit. But, look, I have to give credit where credit is due. The least, in my opinion, has to be the clam bird hybrid thing. I can't let that slide. That's despicable. So, that concludes my opinions on the most and least anatomically correct SpongeBob characters. Thank you for listening.
Hey, yay, hey, yay! The frog is dead!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Alexa, and I'm going to be teaching you about the anatomy of a frog today. But instead of Alexa, my name's actually Bob Ross, but my only kind of utensil that I have is a black erase marker. I really hope it is. It has an eraser on the back of it. Let's hope it's not Sharpie. But let's hop right into this, shall we? Get it? See what I did there? Okay, so we're going to start off with the external nares, which is basically just a fancy word for some nostrils. So we're just going to go in right there with our black, as, you know, Bob Ross would say. Anyways, now that we've got that marked off, it's time to go in with the eyes. Now, we're going to do this from an underbelly view. So we're going to put the eyes, just right right there. Okay, so now that we got that done, we're gonna add a nice little heart. Now, believe it or not, the heart is actually a little bit on the left, but we're gonna be drawing it a little bit on the right since we're looking at the underbelly of the frog. Now that I've got that marked off, we have fat bodies. I'm a big fan of fat bodies, can't you tell? Anyways, a fat body is basically something that just holds all the calories in a frog when it goes through something like hibernation or something. It's like a big yellow glob. Let's pretend this is dandelion yellow, shall we? So this is going to be somewhere usually spread across like the frog, just usually in the empty body cavities. If it's a skinny frog, it's not going to have that many. You're going to have to really dig for them. But that's a really weird cooking video, and I'm not doing that today. So we're just gonna draw the fat body right here. That's not the esophagus. That is a fat body. We're just gonna add some little touches in there. Fat bodies. And then next up we have the lungs. Now the lungs are gonna be just right here. Add those in. Now let's pretend the heart isn't right there. Let's pretend this is perfect. I'm a great artist. Interpret how you must. I'm very creative about it. Mark those off, and now we have the kidneys. Now these kidney little beans are going to be right here across the back and near towards the back of the spine. Now, since this is in the class vertebra, I think I pronounced that right. You know, I'm not going to worry about it right now because I already said it. You usually have a spinal column. So next to the spinal column are going to be these kidneys with the ureters running wherever they go. Not exactly sure about the ureters, but kidneys go right there. So the cloaca, or as I like to call it, the frog fupa, because it's easier for me to remember, it's just a frog thigh gap. So we're going to draw some little legs right here, some little toes. And we're just going to put those right here. And right here, that's the cloaca, aka frog fupa. Now we're going to mark that off, and we're going to add our stomach. Our stomach is usually going to be somewhere right along here. And we're going to make that look like a little crescent moon. And add the little stomach lining because it's like a nice slimy thing just to help tolerate some of the stomach acids. And we have the liver. The liver is one of the largest organs in the frog body. So we're just going to put that right here in the top left. Let's pretend we didn't put that near the eyes. We're going to do the outline later. Artistic interpretation. Bear with me. Liver, gone. So the gallbladder is what's going to help collect our waste from the liver. Now it's going to have some nice funky green into it. Now, college students, you're going to feel me after a long night of drinking. You're going to, maybe, if you didn't eat very well, have some yellow bile. That's not good. Eat a cracker. Anyway, let's get rid of that. The tympanic membrane. So humans have a tympanic membrane, but ours allow us to hear on land. So it's basically an in-between point between the inner and middle ear, and it vibrates in order to allow us to hear. Now the frogs are actually going to be right behind their eyes, and instead of just helping them on land, it's also going to help them hear in the water as well, because we're human. Some of us can't swim. We don't need to hear underwater. This is going to sound like, and that's not cool. So add the tympanic membrane in there. So now that the jet has passed, we're going to go ahead and continue and add our mouth. And our mouth is going to be right there, because like I said, we're on the underbelly of the frog. Now this is a pretty sad frog. It's had a bad day. Artistic interpretation. You can make it happy if you want to. It won't be anatomically correct. So, cross the mouth off. Now the small intestine is going to lead from the stomach right over here and go across the kidneys. And we're just going to... Perfect. Now, mark that off. And now, we have our spleen. Perfect. Now we have the esophagus. Now the esophagus is going to run directly from the frog's mouth down into the chamber of the stomach. Perfect. Our autistic project is done.